Data is measured across 3 pillars of community. That's community characteristics, which measures things like ambiance, services, and amenities. It's measured on governance, which measures quality of services provided by the village, and on participation, which measures sense of community. The good news is overall, from a 10,000-foot perspective, we had about 88% of the respondents ranking Tinley Park as good or an excellent place to live. So this information is measured across 8 facets of the community. So that's safety, natural environment, economy, education and enrichment, mobility, built environment, recreation and wellness, and community engagement. So as you'll see on this slide, this is the dashboard of the measure of those 8 facets. And the good news is that there is nothing that we measure lower than the national benchmark. The ones that are in a blue mid-color are those facets that are measured similar to the national benchmark where we compared, and we measured higher than our benchmark in mobility. You'll note the stars on there. So that is the 2 things that our residents identified, being safety and economy, as the priorities for the Tinley Park community in the coming 2 years. Next slide has the dashboard of the summary. So you can see across the top the 3 pillars that are measured, and down the left side the 8 facets that are measured. And then you'll note the higher benchmarks being, again, the mobility, the built environment, and on the governance side, recreation and wellness. So overall, the dashboard summary notes that ratings within most facets tended to be positive and similar to the national benchmarks. Our community characteristics pillar, the assessments of mobility and built environment were strong and higher than national benchmarks. For governance, the ratings of most facets were on par with national averages, with the exception of recreation and wellness, where it was slightly higher. And then our participation, our rankings are similar to the other benchmarked communities. National benchmark comparisons, we had 4 items that were lower than average, and those are all in the participation category. So those are things like volunteering time to groups or activities, participating in a club, stocking supplies in preparation for an emergency, and working inside of Tinley Park. We had 18 items that ranked higher than average, and those you see are street lighting, traffic flow on major streets, ease of travel by car, bus, transit services, ease of travel by bicycle, ease of travel by public transportation, our drinking water, our recreation centers, our programs and classes and fitness opportunities, opportunities to attend cultural, art, and music events, availability of affordable quality housing, affordable quality food, variety of housing options, overall built environment, ease of public parking, availability of paths and walking trails, and those who used bus, rail, subway, or other public transportation. So I would like to note, too, to be deemed higher or lower, they have to be over 10 percentage points, higher or lower. I'd also like to call to your attention there were 2 customized questions that we had asked. One was how our residents are securing their information from the village. And the top 3, the people who ranked it either as a major or minor source, are our website, or 89% ranked it as a major or minor source, newspapers, which loosely translates to the Tinley Park Junction, and our annual report. Least utilized are our YouTube channel and our Twitter account. The other customized question that we asked were the likelihood of attending or using Harmony Square amenities. So we had listed out several there. The highest rankings were food festival, farmers market, weekend music performances, and food trucks. Least likely were our adult outdoor exercise classes, youth outdoor exercise classes, and hockey. So overall, the Liveability Report indicates that Tinley Park is a desirable place to live, with safety as a feature that contributes to the quality of life, because about 9 of the 10 community members gave high marks to our overall quality of life. Mobility, as I mentioned a couple times, is a strong community feature, where 9 in 10 residents positively assess the overall ease of travel in Tinley Park. Residents did emphasize the importance of the economy and value housing availability and affordability. And our wellness offerings ranked very high and were recognized as an asset to our community. The other thing we did was compare ourselves against our peers. So there were 30 communities in the state of Illinois where our data was compared to a peer group of communities that have taken the survey that have populations between 10,000 and 100,000. So these benchmark comparisons are found in the packet that you have in your, available to you with that technical appendices on pages 29 through 33, if you're interested in looking. But here is a list of the communities that we compared ourselves to in alphabetical order. So there are 30, like I said, that have taken the survey in the past. So now our peer benchmark comparisons are, there were 133 items on the survey, and of those, in comparison to our peers, Tinley Park had 111 similar, 4 lower, which again were all participation activities, including the source, yes, they were, and 18 higher than the benchmark. So the 4 items that were lower than the average were being honest, recycling at home, and using the library or other services. So on those 4, we came in slightly lower than our peers. There are 3 items where we were higher than the average, and those are ease of travel by public transportation, having a vibrant downtown and commercial area, and offering the opportunities to attend cultural, art, and music events. So what are we going to do with this data next? We have, missing a slide here. But our next steps, our intention is to post these reports and make them accessible on the Village website starting tomorrow. These reports have also been made available to management partners, so they can use that for review and analysis as part of our strategic planning. And then we'll continue to carefully analyze and fully utilize these, both during the strategic planning process as well as the upcoming budgeting process.